All right, Nicholas. It says write 0.7 as a fraction. 7 over 10. Why does Quaso know that it's 7 over 10? Well, I'm going to ask you, can you read that for me, Miles? Read this decimal to me. It's 7/10. Exactly. So we can write it as 7/10. Beautiful. Okay? Now the next number is the same thing as a mixed number, but written as a decimal. Miles, you want to take this one for me? It says negative 3.05.
So you start with -3.
Yes?
And then to the right, 1 over 20.
1 over 20. Now, Miles skipped a step for us, and that's fine. Everybody sees that this is 5/100ths, which he then reduced to 1 over 20. That's good because I don't want to use those big numbers to make the mixed number a fraction, because then I'd have to reduce the big numbers. It's easier to reduce them when they're smaller, just the stuff behind the decimal, then change it into a fraction. Now, I'm going to let Rex take it from there. Rex?
You change into a fraction, not mixed up.
I want to change it into a fraction. Exactly, from a mixed number. So what do I need to do first?
Multiply -3 times 20.
I'm not going to multiply -3 times 20. I'm going to forget about the negative for right now. Okay? And just do 3 times 20 and I get 60. And then,
Add it to the 1.
and I get 61 when I add 1. And then leave it over what? 61 over 20. And remember, it's negative. So we'll say negative 61 over 20. Now, we got a question here. William. Why I put the one up here?
Yeah.
This one?
Yeah.
Okay. Guys, you'll see that when we read this, well, let me ask you this. William, can you read this number to me? Will you read that number to me? Right here? No, don't read 3 point. -3 and 5 what? Not 20ths. 2 places behind the decimal point. What's the place value? I've got -3 and 5/100ths. Okay, so -3 and 5/100ths, when we write it as a fraction, it looks like this, correct? Well, I'm sorry? But it's a big number, so, and we can reduce it because 5 goes into both of them, so let's do that. What's 5 into 5? Okay, it goes into it 20 times, and what do I get on top? 1, exactly. That's where that came from. Yeah, thank you, good question, and that's what Miles had told us. Yeah, Taggart, what you got back there?
On the B part, why did you write it as a proper or improper fraction? Did it tell you?
They said to write it as a fraction, not a mixed number.
Oh.
Right, so we were just writing it as a fraction. And guys, I don't like the term improper fraction because this is the easiest way, really, for us to work with this thing instead of a mixed number. It's much easier than working with a mixed number. We're going to take a mixed number and change it to a fraction before we can add it or subtract it. Okay? Does that make sense? It's also easier to work with fractions than it is when we have repeating decimals. That makes it hard to add and subtract those kinds of things. Okay? Yeah, Milan. No, we would never have a decimal in a fraction. Right? We either want a decimal or a fraction. All right? Yeah, good question. Thank you. All right, gentlemen, let's look at the last example, which I like. And then I'm going to show you a little shortcut with it as well.